You paid a premium for that Ford F-150 Ranger or Explorer because of the legendary 10-speed transmission. It's supposed to be the pinnacle of modern engineering. Lightning-fast shifts, incredible towing capability, and better fuel economy than anything that came before it. But right now, Ford dealerships are overflowing with these trucks, and it's not just because of a manufacturing fluke. I've spent years under these trucks, and I can tell you, the 10-speed isn't just dying, it's being killed. Most owners are doing 5 specific things every single day that are shaving years off the life of their transmission. These habits feel normal. They feel harmless. You might even think you're being gentle on the truck. But inside that gearbox, you're creating heat, friction, and pressure that the internal clutch packs were never designed to handle. Today we are breaking down the 5 daily habits destroying your 10-speed transmission. If you want to avoid a $7,000 replacement bill, you need to stop doing these 5 things immediately. Habit 1. The cold start slam. This is the most common habit I see, and it is the #1 cause of hard shifts and gear hunting in the 10R80. You're in a hurry. You start the truck, and within 3 seconds, you've slammed it into reverse or drive and touched the gas. Why it's killing your transmission. The 10-speed transmission is a marvel of hydraulic complexity. It uses a series of solenoids and valves to move fluid through tiny passages to engage the clutch packs. When that fluid is cold, it's thick. It doesn't flow like it should. When you shift immediately, you are asking the transmission to engage a gear before the hydraulic pressure has stabilized. This causes the clutches to slam together rather than slide together. Over time, this creates micro-scarring on the valve body. Once that valve body is scarred, the transmission loses its ability to shift smoothly, leading to that infamous bang you feel when shifting from 3rd to 5th. The correct habit? I'm not saying you need to wait 10 minutes, but you must give the truck 30 to 60 seconds of idling before you move the shifter. This allows the pump to circulate fluid and equalize pressure. If it's below freezing, give it 2 minutes. That small wait prevents the physical shock that eventually destroys the lead frame and solenoids. Habit 2. Shifting while rolling, the lazy reverse. We've all done it. You're backing out of a parking space, you're in a rush, and you shift into drive while the truck is still moving slightly backward. In an old 4-speed truck from the 90s, you might have gotten away with this. In a 10-speed, you are essentially using your internal clutches as brakes. The internal nightmare. The 10R80 uses a one-way clutch and multiple planetary gear sets. When you shift from reverse to drive while moving, you are forcing the transmission to internally stop the rotation of the gears using friction plates rather than your actual brakes. This creates a massive spike in instantaneous heat. That heat glazes the friction material on the clutches. Once they are glazed, they start to slip. Once they slip, the computer tries to compensate by increasing line pressure, which leads to even more heat. It's a death spiral that ends with a transmission fault light on your dash and a truck that won't move. The correct habit: come to a complete dead stop before moving the shifter. Use your brakes. They are cheap and easy to replace. Your transmission clutches are not. Habit 3. Lugging in normal mode. Underload. Ford's normal driving mode is programmed for one thing: the EPA. It wants to get the truck into 10th gear as fast as humanly possible to save a fraction of a gallon of gas. But if you are driving in hilly terrain, or if you have a bed full of tools, leaving it in normal is a recipe for clutch burnout. The lugging effect. When the transmission stays in 10th gear while you're trying to maintain speed up a hill, it puts immense torque load on the overdrive clutches. Because the RPMs are low, the transmission pump is spinning slower, meaning lower oil pressure is available to keep those clutches squeezed together. The engine is lugging, and the transmission is struggling to hold that gear without slipping. This is where most of the shudder issues come from. You're literally feeling the clutches struggle to maintain their grip under the massive torque of an EcoBoost engine. The correct habit. If you feel the truck struggling or vibrating at low RPM, manually downshift or switch to sport mode. Sport mode tells the transmission to stay in a lower gear where the pump speed is higher and the mechanical advantage is better. Don't let the computer sacrifice your transmission on the altar of fuel economy. Habit 4. Trusting the lifetime fluid myth. If you look at your Ford owner's manual, it might tell you that the transmission fluid is filled for life or doesn't need a change until 150,000 miles. As a mechanic, I am telling you right now, That is a lie designed to lower the perceived cost of ownership for fleet buyers. The reality of the 10-speed. The 10R80 is a high-heat environment. It has more moving parts and more friction surfaces than any transmission in history. By 40,000 to 50,000 miles, the fluid has already begun to break down. The friction modifiers in the oil, the stuff that helps the clutches grab, start to wear out. Furthermore, these transmissions produce a lot of metal glitter during the break-in period. That metal gets suspended in the fluid and acts like liquid sandpaper on the sensitive solenoids. If you wait until 150,000 miles, you won't be changing the fluid. You'll be changing the whole transmission. The correct habit: ignore the manual. Change your 10-speed transmission fluid and filter every 40,000 to 50,000 miles. And for the love of everything holy, only use Mercon ULV fluid. These transmissions are hypersensitive to fluid viscosity. Using an all-purpose fluid from a big box store will kill the valve body in months. Habit 5. Over-reliance on adaptive learning without resetting. Your 10-speed transmission is smart. It watches how you drive and adjusts its shift timing to match your style. This is called adaptive learning. But here's the problem. If you buy a used truck, or if your driving conditions change, like moving from the flat plains to the mountains, the transmission gets confused. The confused transmission. If the computer is expecting a gentle shift based on your old habits, but you are now driving aggressively, it might clash the gears. This results in flaring, where the RPMs spike between gears, or harsh engagement. Most owners just ignore this and learn to live with it. But every time that transmission flares or slams, it's taking a bite out of the clutch life. The correct habit: if your truck starts shifting strangely, don't wait for it to break. Go to a shop or use a tool like Forescan and reset the adaptive learning tables. This wipes the memory and lets the transmission relearn your habits from scratch. Often, this simple software reset can fix a bad transmission and save you from a full rebuild. Conclusion: the 10-speed can last if you let it. The Ford 10-speed is a powerhouse. It can tow 14,000 pounds and still get 20 miles per gallon. It's a miracle of engineering, but it is not a tank. It is a precision instrument. If you treat it like an old truck from 1985, slamming it into gear, ignoring the fluid, and letting it lug under load, it will fail you, and it will be expensive. But if you adopt these 5 simple habits, give it 60 seconds to warm up, stop completely before shifting, use sport or tow/haul mode when the engine is working, change the fluid every 50,000 miles, reset the computer if it starts acting up. If you do those 5 things, your 10-speed won't just survive. It will thrive for 200,000 miles or more. I want to hear from you. Have you felt the 10-speed clunk? What mileage are you at? Drop a comment below and let's help each other keep these trucks on the road. If this video saved you a trip to the dealership, smash that like button and subscribe. We're here to give you the truth the manufacturers won't.